Well, hello again and welcome to our reading of the Greek New Testament. We're reading Matthew's Gospel and we're up to chapter 20. This particular pericope is only in Matthew, the story of the workers in the vineyard. Homoiaga estin he basilea ton uranon anthropo oika despote hostis exelten hama proi mythosas thai ergate tas esten ampelona autu. For the kingdom of the heavens is like, and it takes dative, is like to a man who is an oikodespotes. So he's a ruler of the house. So he's a landowner or a house master who went out. Hama proi. Proi is actually an adverb, early. So it's a slightly odd expression here. It means that at the same time as early. So just another way of saying early. Mythos sasthai from mistho. Here it's a future middle infinitive. So as to hire, for his own benefit, to get the sense of the middle, so as to hire ergatas, workers, for his vineyard. Symphonesas de metaton ergaton ek denariu ten hemeran apestelen autus eston ampelona autu. Now, symphonio is to come to an agreement. It means to speak together, so to come to an agreement. So having come to an agreement with the workers, ek denariu, this is a odd expression here. It really means on the terms of a denarius, and then an accusative per day. So he came to an agreement that he'd pay them 1 denarius per day, and apestelan, he sent them into his vineyard. Kai exelthen peritriten horan, and he went out again about the 3rd hour, and he saw others, hestotas. This is a participle from histemi, standing in te agora argus, standing in the marketplace. Argus is an alpha privative plus the erg root. See, there's not, the epsilon has been lost into the alpha here, but it's actually ergus, so without working, so idle. And he said to them, Hupagati kai humas eston ampolina. So you also go into the vineyard. Kai hot ean a dikaion doso humin. There's that ean again for an. And what just doso. Erg root again. They say to epitropo autu. and it becoming late. We've seen this idiom before. You have to supply hemeras, the day becoming late. The master of the vineyard says to epitropo. This is to his assistant, attendant, steward. It's the one over to whom you turn the running of the place. So it's from trepo is the verb that's turning. So it's the one that you've turned things over to, hence the steward. So to his steward, kaleson tus ergatas, call the workers, kai apidos autois ton misthon, and hand over, from apodidomi, to them, ton misthon, the reward. Axamenos apoton eschaton, heros ton proton. Having begun from archemai, from the last, heros until ton proton, the first. Kai elthontes hoi peritain hen decate horan, elebon ana denarion. And having come, those around the 11th hour. So those having come around the 11th hour, elebon, here they received, ana denarion. Now the ana here means each. It's one of the, it's distributive here. So 1 denarius each. Kai exelthontes hoi protoi, and the first lot having come, enomisan hoti pleon lampsontai. They considered, from nomisdo, so they thought, hoti, that they will receive pleon more. There's that future from lambano in classical Greek. The mu would not be there, it's just lapsontai. But in biblical Greek, this nasal infix, which is only normally supposed to be there in the present, survives into other tenses. Kai elebon to anadenarion kai autoi. And they also received anadenarion, 1 denarius each. Labontes de engonguzdon kata tu oikot despotu. And having taken it, they grumbled, from gongudzo. This is an onomatopoetic word, sort of grumble, grumble, grumble. Sounded to the Greeks like gonguzd, and we get this funny verb gonguzdo, to grumble. But it's etymologically not related to anything, it's just probably onomatopoetic. So having taken it, they grumbled against the master of the house, saying, hutoi hoi eskatoi mion horon epoies. And these last lot, they literally did 1 hour, i.e. 1 hour's work. Kai issus hemin autus epoiesas, tois bastasas in toberos tes hemerus kai ton kausona. And you, literally, you have made them, issus, equal, hemin, to us, and in apposition to that dative we get a dative participle here from bastasdo. Bastasdo is to carry or bear. This is the dative plural aorist participle. So to the ones carrying or bearing the baros, the weight, tes hemeras, of the day, kai ton kausona. From third declension noun kauson, it's connected with the verb kaio, to burn. The aorist of kaio is ekausa, and from that root they form this one here. It means the burning, or perhaps the heat of the day. It's the burden and the heat. We could take these together, the burden and the heat of the day. So you have equated us, you have made us like to those who bore the, so to us who bore the burden, or the weight, and the heat of the day. Hode apokrithes heniauton epin. And he said, Heni, to one of them, Hetire. Well, Hetire simply means a friend or acquaintance or something. So my friend Uk Adiko se, so, or comrade is another translation of this too. I have not done you any wrong. Now Uki, introducing a question expecting the answer yes. So Uki dina riu sonefone sas moi. Did you not agree with me for, genitive of price, for 1 denarius? Aaron toson kai hupage. Aaron from Iro, so take what is yours, take toson, and hupaga, and depart. But I wish tuto to escato, and the top of the next page is adunai hos kai soy, but I wish to give to this man who is last hos kai soy, as also understand I gave to you. So I wish to give to this man who was the last, the same as I've given to you. We get an A in brackets here. U exesti moi hothelo poiesai en tois emois. Is it not lawful to me to do whatever thing Othello I wish, en tois emois? This is a funny use of en here. It means with, so with my own things. So is it not lawful for me to do whatever I want with my own possessions? This use of en meaning with, possibly Semitic here. The Hebrew word b, which is translated always as en in the Septuagint, can have the meaning of with. That can also mean in, and so on. Now we get a funny Semitic expression here too. Literally, is your eye evil that I, or because I am good? So it's, well, the evil eye, it may be something a bit less sinister, of something like, or are you looking at me askance? Is your eye evil? Are you looking at me askance because I am good? Hutos esontai, thus hoi eskatoi protoi kai hoi protoi eskatoi. Thus the last will be first, and the first, understand, will be last. And the next little pericope, where Jesus foretells his death and resurrection, this is in both Mark and Luke. Kai anabino ho Jesus es hierosoluma parelabin tu stodica, in brackets methetas katidian kai ente hodo epenatois. And Jesus, going up into Jerusalem, he took to himself, to get the para into it, the 12 disciples, and the mathetas in brackets, katidian we've seen before, in private, kai ente hode, and on the journey, perhaps literally on the road, perhaps on the journey, apen autois, he said to them, Idu anabinomen es hierosoluma, behold, we are going up into Jerusalem, kai hovios tu anthropu, and the Son of Man paradothesetai. This is from paradidomi, it's the future passive, will be handed over. It can also mean betray, paradidomi, so will be betrayed or will be handed over, tois archierusin, to the chief priests and the scribes, kai kataquinusin, notice the accent here, so this is a future. If it was present, the accent would be on the iota. And they will condemn him, thanato, to death. Kai paradosus in auton tois ethnos in es to empaxai, kai mastigosai, kai starosai. and they will betray him or hand him over to the ethnesim, literally to the nations, so to the Gentiles, with the result. Now, ace top plus the infinitive, and we get 3 of these infinitives for purpose, so that they will. Now, this is from empisdo. There's a zeta here in the. If you look it up in the dictionary, it means to. Well, it's connected with pais, a child. It means to mock or make fun of, to treat like a silly child. But by this stage, the verb empaisto simply means to mock, to make fun of. So as to make fun of him, and mastigosai, and to whip him. This is from mastigo. These are all aorist infinitives, and this is from stauro, and to crucify him. Kai te trite he mira egerthesatai, and on the 3rd day he will be raised. Again, a nice future passive here from egero. That's the first half of chapter 20.